From the beginning, humans have feared what hides beyond sight. Shadows that shift, whispers with no source, figures that vanish when you blink. But what if those fears were warnings, not illusions? What if there's something out there, watching? Today, we enter the fourth chapter of our journey through mythical creatures, where each story grows darker, stranger, and more unsettling. The first creature we'll uncover is the boogeyman. It's the terror of the night, lurking in closets and under beds, waiting in silence until a child is left alone. The boogeyman isn't a fixed being, but a figure born from fear of darkness and the unknown. Its image changes from tale to tale. Some describe it as a faceless shadow with long arms, while others imagine it as a gaunt figure with deformed skin and glowing eyes. What matters is that dread appears long before it draws near. Its legend traces back to old European stories. Parents used to mention it to keep children obedient and safe at home after nightfall. Nearly every culture has its own version. In Spain, they call it El Coco. In Germany, Der Schwarze Mann. And in Arab traditions, Abu Rigal Masluka. It hides in dim corners, closets, attics, under the bed, places where imagination completes what the eye can't quite see. That's what makes it a universal nightmare. It takes shape in every mind, never exactly the same. Today, the boogeyman appears in horror films, in games, and in endless stories. It's become a symbol of fear itself, irrational, buried deep inside, waiting where reason fades away. But does it really exist? There's no proof, but proof isn't what matters. The moment you feel that urge to check the dark corner of your room, you'll remember why parents still whisper its name. But shadows in the corner aren't the only thing to fear. What if darkness answers back, not with silence, but with a voice you trust? The next creature on this list is among the strangest, siren head. It's extraordinarily tall and thin, with a silhouette resembling a rotting tree, and instead of a head, it has two enormous sirens. Sometimes they look like old, corroded loudspeakers. From them come unsettling sounds, static, distorted voices, fragments of radio conversations or screams. They're often the last sounds its victims hear. Siren Head rose to fame when artist Trevor Henderson shared an illustration in 2018 that quickly went viral. However, the idea of a being that lures through sound is much older. Ancient stories spoke of spirits that mimic familiar voices to draw travelers into the forest. Siren Head is the modern echo of those legends. Stories tell that it can mimic any voice, a child's cry, a loved one's call, even the ring of emergency signals. It's as if it extracts sounds from the memories of those it hunts. Standing approximately 33 feet tall, it moves with unsettling speed and silence despite its size. What's most disturbing is that it has no face and yet somehow sees. It has no ears and yet hears everything. Some believe the sirens themselves act as its senses. Others think its body isn't flesh, but something metallic, or perhaps alien. Today, Siren Head has become a full-blown urban legend. It appears in games, short films, and in endless horror stories shared as if it were real. Does it exist in the physical world? Almost certainly not, but in an era where sound itself can be deadly, the idea of Siren Head is scarier than many real threats. From a nightmare that mimics sound, we move to a legend that soars through the skies. Few creatures inspire both wonder and caution quite like this one. Number 3 on our list is a creature many will recognize, the hippogriff. It combines the power of an eagle with the strength of a horse. The front half presents the head, wings, and talons of an enormous bird, while the rear half takes the form of a powerful steed. Though the hippogriff seems majestic, it can be dangerous, especially if not treated with respect. This legendary creature first appeared in European folklore during the Renaissance, and its first mention appears in the poem Orlando Furioso. Legends tell that the hippogriff was born from the impossible union between a griffin and a mare, making it a symbol of the magical and the unattainable. It was said to cross oceans and travel faster than a storm. The hippogriff is more than a mount. It's a proud and noble being whose trust must be earned. An interesting detail: hippogriffs never attack without provocation, but if you approach without showing proper respect, you risk a strike from their sharp talons. These creatures sense fear and demand both courage and reverence from those who dare to face them. In today's culture, the hippogriff became popular thanks to the Harry Potter films. Many fans remember the moment when Buckbeak carried Harry across the lake, a scene that brought this mythical creature to life on screen. For countless viewers, it was their first glimpse of the hippogriff in motion. Nature says it's impossible. But the hippogriff was never meant to be real. Its purpose was to remind us that wonder often begins where logic ends. Which of these creatures has captured your imagination most so far? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to know what you think. While the hippogriff demands respect, the next being turns it into terror. It doesn't just change shape. It hides in plain sight, wearing faces that aren't its own. The fourth creature on our list is the skinwalker, a legendary figure said to be a witch or shaman, with the power to take the form of animals or even humans. Its true appearance remains hidden: wrinkled and withered skin, deformed limbs, and eyes that seem to harbor only darkness. They're often described as twisted human forms with empty faces and strange, stiff movements. Sometimes they're seen as large beasts, retaining disturbing traces of humanity. Their movements seem unnatural, as if controlled by something not of this world. Skinwalker legends come from Navajo tradition. According to those stories, only those who committed terrible acts and violated sacred laws could transform into one, gaining powers that should never be used. Most accounts of skinwalker encounters come from the deserts of Arizona, Utah, and New Mexico. Even today, many locals hesitate to travel alone through those areas at night. A striking detail is that the Navajo people often avoid saying the word skinwalker, believing that speaking its name might attract the creature. Today, the skinwalker has become a staple of online horror, appearing in creepypastas, horror games, and endless urban legends. Its image keeps transforming, but the fear it provokes never disappears. Does the skinwalker really exist? There's no proof to confirm it. But in the vast deserts where myth and reality intertwine, you might wonder whose voice is calling you in the darkness. If you've made it this far, brace yourself. The next ones are much worse. The next creature, shrouded in both mist and mystery, is Ogopogo, a legendary being said to dwell in the depths of Lake Okanagan in Canada. Descriptions show it as a long, serpent-like creature with dark, smooth skin, a small, horse-shaped head, and a curved body that can reach nearly 15 meters in length. The origins of this tale trace back to the beliefs of the Syilx people, who spoke of a lake spirit called Naha-Aitk. This spirit was said to demand offerings from travelers seeking safe passage through its waters. Over time, that story became the legend of a lake monster that would eventually be called Ogopogo. The first widely reported sighting occurred in the early 20th century. In 1926, several witnesses claimed to have seen something strange moving through the lake. Since then, countless reports have emerged, along with blurry photographs, shaky videos, and whispered accounts. Ogopogo is often called the Canadian version of the Loch Ness Monster. In Kelowna, a playful statue of the creature stands as a tourist attraction, offering a lighter view of the legend. As for the truth behind the sightings, some believe Ogopogo could be a yet undiscovered species of fish, or an ancient creature hiding in the lake's depths. Scientists, meanwhile, suggest most sightings are probably waves, light reflections, or drifting logs. Does Ogopogo really exist? No proof has been found, yet perhaps someday someone will capture evidence that changes what we know. However, what lurks in frozen lakes is nothing compared to what prowls through winter forests. The next creature is born from hunger itself. Number 2 is the wendigo, a creature said to be born not just from legend, but from the darkest corners of human nature: fear, starvation, and loneliness. That's what sustains it. The wendigo is described as a skeletal, gigantic figure, standing between 3 and 4 meters tall. Its body seems painfully stretched, with grayish-white skin pulled tight over bones, and fingers ending in razor-sharp claws. Its eyes glow in the night, and its mouth gapes wide in endless hunger. Many depictions show it crowned with antlers or wearing a deer skull, emphasizing its primal animal essence. This myth comes from the Algonquian-speaking tribes of North America. Their tales warn that those who resorted to cannibalism during brutal winters became wendigos, cursed spirits with eternal hunger. Legends say the wendigo stalks its victims slowly, first breaking their minds with terror, despair, and starvation. Only after that torment does it consume not just the body, but the soul as well. Interestingly, during the 20th century, there were documented cases of what came to be called wendigo psychosis. In remote areas, some people believed they were transforming into wendigos and begged to be stopped. These chilling accounts were recorded in parts of Canada. Today, the wendigo has moved from forests into popular culture, appearing in films, games, and comics. It's no longer just a creature of legend, but a symbol, one representing unchecked greed and the loss of self-control. Does the wendigo exist in reality? Almost certainly not, and yet its image endures as a powerful reminder of what can happen when we surrender our humanity. Do you think Wendigo's cold is unbearable? Wait till you face what lurks where the world itself ends. The final creature on our list is the ningen. It seems to exist solely to disturb the imagination, an enormous white figure with no face and long, unsettling limbs. The ningen gives the feeling of something born from nightmares, lurking in the frozen void of Antarctica. The first stories emerged in Japan in the early 2000s, when fishermen claimed to see human-like shapes moving beneath the ice. Since then, the ningen has spread through online forums and internet legends. Descriptions say it can reach nearly 30 meters in length, with a human-shaped body but no mouth, eyes, or expression whatsoever. The legend began with articles in Japanese paranormal magazines, where research teams reported unsettling encounters. A single blurry photo supposedly showed the creature, unleashing an avalanche of videos, theories, and fake documentaries. What makes the ningen so unsettling is the absence of proof. No remains, no DNA, no clear images. It's said to prowl the icy waters of Antarctica, one of the least explored regions on the planet. Does the ningen really exist? Most likely not. However, as a myth, it spreads, endures, and frightens, making it feel more real than you might imagine. These myths are just the beginning. Beyond them are stories even darker, where facts and nightmares blur together. Subscribe now and step with us into the shadows of what's to come.